At Bill Bird Kia, our SUV family is built for all-in adventures and endless possibilities. Whether you're traveling on the highways or off-road, you'll do it with grace and grit. Now offering 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or a new 2024 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Now enjoy the view this summer because the road is yours in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento or new 2024 Kia Sportage with $2,165 per month per $1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 7/8/24.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore Portable Building Dealer, Panama City.
Are you feeling tired, weak, or maybe you feel old and cranky? If so, I have the answer. It's Max Fit Sports Nutrition with 2 locations, 23rd Street in the Coronado Plaza and in Pier Park North on Back Beach Road. Max Fit Sports Nutrition has nutritional products and professional dietary plans to get you moving in the right direction. So get off that couch and get to Max Fit Sports Nutrition now. Max Fit Sports Nutrition, where you can try it before you buy it.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. Welcome to the house. It's time for the Afternoon Underdogs.
It's happening.
Wow.
It's on right now.
Opinionated and unfiltered. The hot takes, the rants, and the sports talk you crave.
Give it to me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
What is going on, Northwest Florida? You are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're tuned into ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 right here in beautiful Panama City and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. I'm David Hayes along with Tyler Bishop and Caveman Rick. And Florida State fans, get ready because Max Delighten will be with us at any moment. And who knows what is going to come out of Max Delighten's mouth. We'll find out about how he feels about what's going on with Team USA women's basketball for the Olympics and much, much more there. Tyler, how's it going today?
It's going great. We call him Wild Card Delighten for a reason, and he never leaves us disappointed.
Last week, he did not disappoint.
He did not disappoint.
The Wild Card Delighten, man. Like when you first ever said that, I was like, he does kind of say some off the wall stuff sometimes. And ever since then, I don't even know if he knows that
the character of this
last week. So just a little bit of context because we're gonna have to dive into it in the next segment. He called Caitlin Clark the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA. Now I don't think that this station, and I know for sure that the host of the Afternoon Underdogs disagrees wholeheartedly. I don't think that Caitlin Clark is the Jackie Robinson of anything, much less the WNBA, but we will talk more about how she's been left off of the roster for Team USA and get his thoughts there. Caveman Rick, do you have any thoughts on Caitlin Clark not making it to the Team USA roster?
Not really. I don't think, why should she? Just because of all the hype. I mean, you got to do what's best for the team, right? Our job's to go and win gold. It's not to just put the most hype out there on the court. So if we had other people on the team that can actually fulfill the role that she would, be having in a better way, and if it's going to make her be more motivated for 4 years from down the road, then why not?
You sound like the committee.
I think also, we're talking about the selection more because she's not on it than if she had been put in it, too.
Yeah.
That's part. I'm not saying that played a role, but, if she was on the team, we probably would just be, oh, yeah, she made the team, kind of makes sense. But the fact that she's not, I feel like more like it's getting 10 times the publicity than it would have if she was included.
I have two theories. We'll dive into that in your minute with Max coming up at 4:20, at 4:40 today. I've got an interesting trivia question that I want to ask you guys because I did not put the answer on your show sheet, so you do not know the answer. But it actually kind of tripped me up a little bit the way that the question was worded. So that'll be up today at 4:40 for your opportunity to win $25 to not the but that boot store. And then coming up at 5:30 today, we're doing it at 5:30, not 5:40, the 7-year send-off. When we give you the cue to call, be caller number 10, 850-215-6290. You're automatically going to win a sweet qualifying prize, which today it is the 11th here, so that's going to be a Dave & Buster swag bag, a jersey, and a Swampy Jacks $10 off coupon there. And the grand prize is going to see the Atlanta Braves take on the Blue Jays Saturday, September 7th. That comes with your hotel, your spending cash, food and beverage at the game, and some great seats in the Xfinity Club. Listeners can qualify as many times as they like to increase their chances of winning. That's brought to you by PCB Hobby, Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, and Home 2 Suites. And then right after we wrap up this promotion, we've got another opportunity to send you to Atlanta, not in September, but right here in the month of June for June 28th. I mean, this is a Braves extravaganza giveaway throughout the year. So don't fret if you don't win the 7-year send-off, which is the best of our giveaways, right? Because of all of the things that it comes with. But we are sending a lot of people to Atlanta this year. 850-215-6290, taking your text and calls today. Last week, we talked about the win totals in the SEC. Were they just right, too low, or too high? And we'll continue on with that. We'll kind of recap. I actually took the time to go back and go to last week's segment. So we'll recap a little bit of what we talked about last week, look at some new teams. And then at 5:20 today, if we're not done going over the too right, too high, or just right, too high, too low win totals from the SEC, then we will dive into some of the biggest games, the top 10 biggest games of the year in college football. And I want Tyler's answer on which team it means more for.
I mean, we're at like 10 weeks, I think, like 10 Saturdays from football. Like real football, not just exhibition, like real football.
86 days away from the NFL, which is a common theme. Great segue there, because that's a common thing that we've been talking about to open up the show here on the Afternoon Underdogs with the 100 things you need to know about the NFL season. Just 86 days away, which means that we're even closer to college football.
Because week 0, which would be 2 weeks before. So that'd be 72 days till week 0.
I would be highly surprised if week 0 is the biggest mark on people's calendar right now. July 19th, I think. I think July 19th might be a little bit bigger this year for college football fans who are under the age of, let's say, 61.
You think it goes that high?
I think it does, bro. I think that this is one of those video games. All right,
35.
35, brother. I'm 33. I don't feel it, but
I would have set mine at 40.
40?
Yeah, because I mean, we're about the same age, so like, I grew up. We grew up playing NCAA, so when they got rid of it. Like, granted, 10 years ago? So that's kind of like I started phasing out of video games a little bit anyway. So
that's
it kind of worked out.
Like, I'm 46, like 10. So I'm thinking that, like 35.
But
I might be a little
Southern
high.
guy though. He's not a college. He's not a college fan. It's a little.
That's true. He's looking for you, and you've
but
said
I'm
this.
a gamer though, and I've played games, and
that's what I'm saying. So you're looking forward more so to Madden.
I'm not looking. Well, to be honest with you, I mean, because they put them out every year. The hype for this game is because they haven't had a college football game out in like.
There's no question about it. There's no question.
If they did Madden the same way, Madden would be like 3 times what the college football one would be right now because it's
if
Madden.
They went 10 years without Madden, it would be. I think it would be more than 3 times.
Or I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. Just just it would be like way huger.
Yeah.
Because there's more like NFL type Madden fans. So.
Yeah, I have no disagreement there, but I do. Now I'm intrigued. Like listeners out there, you should send me your age. Send me your age, and if you're looking for, don't send me your name if you're not looking forward to playing the game. But if you're looking forward to playing college football, EA Sports College Football 25, if you're looking forward to it, then send me your age. Let's get a nice little average of what ESPN Northwest Florida's listenership average of age looking forward to play this game. Because I would venture that there would be people who are in their 50s who played the game when they were younger, maybe have gotten away from video games, and now are sitting here here, well, this game is coming back. I'm gonna have to, get me a PS5.
That was 100% me. That was
argument, though, is the college games really didn't come out until after 2000. Like right here, I mean, I got Madden right here. Madden 94.
Madden 94.
Right here. Check it out. Madden 94. All right. So Madden was back, early on in the day, like way before they had the college football game. So most people are going to align towards
Madden. I think I had Madden 97 and NCAA 99. I think were the first two versions of each game I had.
Okay. I'm the first NCAA game that I remember playing was Game Breaker. Because I was a PlayStation guy. So Game Breaker 2001, I think, was one of the first.
So basically those games have been around for no more than 25 years. So basically if you were playing games before then, you might not be as entrenched into that genre or that whatever is the younger crowd.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree with you there. I just would love to see some of the answers from the listeners and see, maybe we do have some older people out there who are ready to get back on the sticks, if you will.
And Tecmo Bowl is like college football game with those teams instead of the pro teams or something.
I mean, I don't think it would be as popular. Tecmo Bowl, fun game. Yeah. Great game. If Tecmo Bowl, let's say that Tecmo Bowl ended in 96 when I'm 5 years old. All right. Tecmo Bowl ends in 1996, and they talk here in 2024, bringing back Tecmo Bowl. I can tell you the last person who's going to be excited about Tecmo Bowl. Me. Because I was young in its prime and all of that
stuff.
I'm
not talking about bringing it back, but if they had a college version game back when they had Tecmo Bowl in that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I think it would probably be a lot more prevalent, a lot more people would be down with it.
Kyle Albritton says wrong. NCAA greater than Madden. Again, I think that's I do think that's
college versus pro bias.
Regional. Yeah, I do believe that's a regional issue.
I agree with him. He doesn't even have a pro team. He just has the Gators, and that's it.
Come to think of it, though, I don't think that Kyle Albritton does have an NFL team.
That's what I'm saying. So because of that, Kyle Albritton, sorry, but that kind of makes sense.
Well, anyways, he goes NCAA greater than Madden with a bunch of greater than signs. True. Then he says, yeah, I said it. I'm also older than 35 and don't play games much anymore. But if I had anything past a PS3, I want to play it for sure. I'm 38, aka ancient as hell. Not true. I had an NCAA game in the 90s with Danny Warfel on it there. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I just know that I'm excited about it July 19th. I think that there's a lot of people excited about Madden college football coming out. What's going on with you, Max?
Not much.
You got anything crazy to say today?
No, that wasn't crazy. That's a true statement. I stand by
it. Stand by it.
Hopefully we don't waste my whole minute talking about sport no one watches. But
it's actually tripled this year.
Oh, nice. 12 to 36 people.
12
the numbers guy over here. Look at that quick mouth.
I'm counting them beans. Son, we having green beans for dinner.
I was listening on the way in, too. I'm going to go with 35 and under. On
35 and under?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't disagree too heavily. I knew that I threw it up way too high. Saying
61. Yeah, I was gonna say my dad is 55, and he's
not showing any excitement on it.
He's not fired up for the new NCAA football. I think.
God forbid.
Indiana fan, right? No,
yeah.
Well, he's an
Penix ain't on the game.
Even worse. I mean,
how in the world did that happen?
What?
Well, because y'all are from Chicago. Huh?
Yeah, and he went to U of I. I just decided to go to Indiana over at better business school.
What's it?
Better looking people.
Better looking people. There you go. It's always important to be around better looking people.
Campus.
Because it's just like, hang around the fourth person and I'll show you yourself or whatever. You'll end up being the fifth. So if you're hanging around good looking people, you will turn up. You will end up
is that how
being
that
a
works?
good looking person.
Yeah.
Science, bro.
I thought it was like the woman thing. You hang around a bunch of ugly friends and it makes yourself look better.
I mean, I guess it goes either way.
You know what I'm saying?
At least the confidence.
Yeah.
At least the confidence.
They break it down in what, A Beautiful Mind?
What is that?
You never seen that movie?
The movie with Russell Crowe?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
there you go.
A mathematics movie.
Yeah.
I'll send you the scene. It's a good scene.
I'll take scenes. I can watch scenes.
Scene, yeah.
Whole
it's
movies.
Not for your ADD.
Whole movies though. Oh my gosh, bro! What are you trying to take me through? Oh man, I got some flag football practice tonight, and
defensive coordinator Dave.
I'm excited about it. But I tell you what, man, for some reason, I normally don't get very sore after playing softball or whatever, but my knees just feel like they're rubbing together, like all of the cartilage.
You're getting old,
Yeah, brother. Let's. But I still like NCAA football. Rick Ty says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Getting ready for that Atlanta Braves game, and that's why we are doing the 7-year send-off today at 5:30 rather than 5:40 because first pitch tonight for the Braves and the Orioles at 5:45 tonight. All right, since you don't want to take any time from your Minute with Max to talk about Caitlin Clark,
just overplayed.
I mean, I agree with you.
It's bad basketball.
I agree. What she's playing is bad basketball.
No, dude. Have you?
How many points she have last night?
Getting better.
Have you?
How many points she have last night?
That's like you rolling out to the NBA with your team you're coaching for Dynasty football and playing those guys. Like,
wait, so our Dynasty flag football team is going to the NBA.
Have you seen like her inbounds passes of them just missing layups?
No.
Like, how are you a pro athlete and you can't make a layup? Like,
well, I mean, have you watched the WNBA? Like, that's actually, I think it's more common to miss a wide open layup than it is.
I don't know. I have a life. I don't know.
My life is watching the WNBA.
That 40-game season, you were just locked on the couch. That's no wonder you never text me back.
Hey, shut up, man. I feel like you don't text me back more than I don't text you back.
That's a lot.
I will say this, though. I have started hard rocking a little bit more with the WNBA and just like picking the favorites.
Easier money.
What I mean? Well,
is it?
I haven't won any. I've only done 2 bets and I haven't won any. But that is because I end up putting the underdogs on the ticket.
The one that I did, I won one, and the other one I only lost because the Mystics lost on like a 6 or 7 leg.
I mean, that's your fault right there. The Mystics ain't even won a game.
But they were playing the Fever.
The Fever won a game.
That was like that's who they were playing though. The Fever.
They got their like 3rd win, I believe, in that game right there.
The Mystics was the right pick.
So, what do you think about her being left off of Team USA? Let me give you my thoughts here, right? And I've already given you one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, I do think that she ends up on the roster. I think it goes back to what Tyler said or Tyler or Caveman Rick. Maybe it was you when you first came in. I don't know. One of you guys said it that because she's not on the roster, this is being talked about more so than if she was on the roster, it would probably be a non-issue. So that was Tyler saying that. So I do think that there is some of that. I think that the lack of experience, there is no other rookies on this team right here. Yeah. There's no other rookies, and it's led by Diana Taurasi, 42 years old, who she just turned 42 yesterday. She's going to break the record for most Olympics played in the sport of basketball. 5 players, including former teammate Sue Bird, have competed in 5. I think that Diana Taurasi is pulling a Michael Jordan, where it's like, look, we don't need her. They've won 7 straight gold. Yeah. They've won 7 straight gold.
There's no
She's been, exactly.
She's a little jealous. She's a little jelly. She when she started
I do
in the
agree
WNBA, no one really cared. When Caitlin came, everyone started caring.
I think that there's truth to that.
And I mean, like it or hate it, her team stinks, and there's only so much you can do on a bad team. You know, playing 1v5 as a rookie, and I mean, she's obviously the most talented player in the WNBA. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about the WNBA. So it's just a stunt. It's jealousy. It's just, they're serving themselves. It's women cannibalizing the WNBA. Like, people want to see her in the Olympics. No little girl is going to go, I want to see Diana Taurasi break the record. No, they want to see Caitlin Clark jack up threes from the logo.
I mean, how cool would it be to have Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark on the same team? And this is your last opportunity.
It would, but she's a hater.
But this is the last opportunity for this to happen, because 4 years from now, and this is the other thing that I don't necessarily like about it, because there's no question about how much Caitlin Clark moves the needle for women's basketball, but that's neither here nor there, because it's not about moving the needle, because they're playing these games without anyone watching or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's the Olympics. These things are going to happen. However, this is... you can blame the inexperience all you want to. You can say that that's the reasoning, but she's one of the best players in women's basketball. Forget people watching. Why do people watch? It's not because she's some like entertaining person or whatever. It's because she's good, because she's not an entertainer. She's actually not an entertaining star at all. She's the Kevin Durant of the WNBA, right? I mean, am I wrong?
I don't think the inexperience matters at all. She's played at
I agree.
Like that Nebraska-Iowa game, way more fans than Diana Taurasi will ever see. And like, I mean, it's true. It's true.
Just opening up the hate.
But no, because like she just doesn't want the spotlight stolen from her. Like, it's just a catty move. I mean, like, you want to bring the best people out, and you want to get more awareness for the sport, especially on a global scale. Bring your most coveted player to the Olympics.
Brittany Griner.
Got a quick question. So
traded him back to Russia.
Bronny James coming into the league this next season, right, with the draft. If he gets drafted by somebody,
I think the Indiana Fever might be looking at him.
Right? Do you think he gets the same kind of treatment, though, because of who his dad is in the league, that if he's on the court, he's going to get checked and he's going to get knocked around because it's like, welcome to the league, rookie, and just because your last name's James, we're going to make it tougher on you, because why should you get any perks or any benefits because of who your daddy is?
I think that depends on when he gets drafted. Like, if he's an undrafted free agent, I don't think that they come at him as hard. I think that he's going to be getting it regardless, because here's the thing. This isn't no Caitlin Clark treatment, right? This is rookie treatment, which all of these rookies go through. And most of them.
I think it's pretty harsh the way that she's getting checked and knocked around right now.
Yeah,
like being physical with her, like saying, hey, you're getting all this love and attention. We've been here for a while. So, hey.
I would be able to answer better to that if I watched the WNBA more, because again, across the board, when it comes to rookies who have a high profile, when they get to the league, there's that welcome to the league rookie moment. Right? And I think that we're seeing that more with the WNBA, and it's getting highlighted. Embarrassing to you.
No, it's embarrassing.
Is Angel Reese get knocked around? I don't think so.
No one's getting this.
I would imagine that if we were to go back and actually look at Angel Reese's tape, that she gets knocked around as much, if not more, than Caitlin Clark because of where she plays, which is down low.
It's
a hot take. That's right.
Plays. That's not waiting for an inbounds pass.
And I agree with that. And I agree with that. Dude, I agree with that. I am hot taking over here.
I know, and it is just like
I'm trying to match your level, Black Bear.
I know, yeah, coming in hot. It's just, dude, it's just so bogus and it's so dumb. Like, no one's getting that treatment. Like, if you looked at any of the other rookies, it's all like glamorized. Oh, Cameron Brink showing up at the arena. That's Steph Curry's goddaughter. Caitlin Clark. It's like,
is that Steph Curry's goddaughter for real?
Yeah,
she loves Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
She's good looking.
I don't think so. I mean, I think she's all right. But okay, so here's what I'll say, bro. She kind of looks like a fish.
Today. You took my dude. She looks like a fish. We are like the ugliest people on the planet.
Well, I got a face for radio, brother. I'm not denying all of that. But what I am gonna say is, like, so Cameron Brink, probably one of the prettier rookies coming into the class, right? I'll say that.
Number one.
I'll say the hottest rookie, all right? We want to go to that level? I'll say that. She's the hottest rookie in the WNBA. However...
You're going to get thrown off there, man.
I mean, okay, she's the best looking, however you want to put it. What I'm saying is I did see...
a fish.
I mean, bro, facially speaking, like, let's see the girl without the makeup. First off, right?
That's about every woman nowadays.
There you go. Anyways, that was not even my whole point. The point that I'm trying to make is like, we're talking about how ripped she is or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know about ripped, maybe like ribbed caged or whatever, because she's she's pretty skinny over there. But hey, listen, hey. You can show all the Instagram photos that you want over there. Victoria?
Max had them ready to go. Like,
yeah, all right. Ready to go. 850-215-6290. Kyle Albritton says we need a hottest WNBA player bracket and who will win. I mean, Cameron Brink.
Brink and the UConn girl, Nika something. That's all you got.
That's all you got.
And that was that bracket.
And there was the bracket. It was a 1v1. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. Quick timeout, and we're going to be right back with your minutes with Max and whatever he wants to talk about, since we got Caitlin Clark out of the way for today.
America's team plays here.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's number 10.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Charlie Morton, Max Fried, and Chris Sale lead the Braves' dominant pitching rotation.
That's 18 up, 18 down.
Sponsored by Panama City Toyota, Ellis Agency Insurance, Bestway Portable Buildings, PCB Hobby, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Got him swinging, strike three.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour coming out of the west and temps near 89. Tonight we will have mostly clear skies and be warm at 77. Mostly sunny most of the day except the possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening tomorrow and a high 91. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
In the jewelry business, there is no substitute for experience. David Adamson has over 46 years of experience, 32 of those in Lynn Haven. Designing and creating fine jewelry is more than a job for David, it's a joy. If you're looking for a spectacular jewelry design that says you, or perhaps you need your jewelry repaired, look no further than David Adamson Designer Jewelry. All work is done in-house and always to your complete satisfaction. Stop in today at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Ohio Avenue in Lynn Haven. They're on Facebook and at tcjeweler.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials, Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus, live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive, across from the Navy base.
Behind some strong defense, clutch pitching, and a solid offense, this 2024 Brave squad's gearing up to make some noise in the National League.
He sends one soaring to right field, back to the chop house, 3-0 Braves. He's done it again.
Tonight, the Braves road trip rolls on from Baltimore as Austin Riley and the Braves take on the Orioles at Camden Yards.
Coverage starts here after the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Atlanta Braves fans, listen weekdays at 7:40, 12:40, and 5:40. Your chance to qualify to win the Atlanta Braves 7 years send-off from ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Oh, Lord. And we are back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 right here at Panama City and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. And this is your Minute with Max, and we're delighted to have Mr. Delighted in the building with us. He is a lending lad with Allegiant Lending. Tell the people what you can do for him, Max.
Thanks, Dave. Allegiant Lending Firm, single-family homes, condos, you name it, 850-565-1160. I can barely get my thoughts together after these segments. You're just trying to rile me up left and right. I'm just reading the prompts.
Well, you're normally always riling up our Florida State fans, so I felt like today was just
truth. Hey, at least they made the playoffs for something.
They did. Baseball. College World Series. Here we go, man. You're pulling for the Noles?
I mean, I don't care who wins.
Once Indiana was out, it was just like, whatever.
Yeah, and even then, like, college baseball is such a regional thing. Like, people down here care, and I totally get it. It's just, I never grew up watching it. So, besides, like, when Shorebread and them made the College World Series once. So, it's really cool, though, how it's all SEC and ACC. Like, just goes to show playing year-round really helps.
Yeah, and
it's amazing how that works.
Yeah.
that is true. Got a comment from John Reinhardt. He says, you guys should go back and watch on YouTube Gretzky in 78 and 79. He got the crap kicked out of him night after night and kept scoring there. That was just in reference to Caitlin Clark, but we don't want to continue on that route here.
He's right, though. I've seen some of those clips.
And Caveman Rick commented back on there, he also had a lot of protection there. So
he was a pipsqueak, Gretzky was, in comparison to a lot of the guys that he was playing against. Caitlin Clark, she's on par with the rest of the girls out there, was a little bit different with Gretzky.
Yeah, that's fair, because you can actually...
I mean, Gretzky looked like...
Gretzky
looked like a 12-year-old out there playing against a bunch of those guys. It doesn't look like that with Caitlin Clark out there.
She's more close around like 15, 16.
No.
It's like the Blackhawks this year needed. I mean, he had a great rookie season, but we needed an enforcer for Bedard.
Oh yeah,
he was getting lit up left and right.
You always do when you have a good goal scorer like that, because the other team's going to take their opportunities on somebody like that. You got to have the protection.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about today, Max? NBA Finals sound good, or you want to go to that next question?
I can go to the next question first.
Okay, we'll start
my
there.
Blood pressure's high.
Hey,
let me read it for the listeners.
Well,
Max, tell me, why do the Cubs suck?
Well, see, that's not how the question was supposed to be read. It's Max, tell me, why do the Cubs suck?
Max, why are you hot on air today?
Listen, the Atlanta Braves right now not playing much better than the Chicago Cubs.
Auto win day. Max Fried on the mound.
Max Fried on the mound. It does feel that way. He did, first two starts of the year were rocky for him, and then bounced back.
He always owns us.
Yeah.
Complete game against us. A couple starts ago, 3 starts ago.
I don't think that one was a Maddox, but it was pretty close to under 100 pitches.
It felt like it.
Yeah, yeah. But what do you think is going on with your Cubbies right now? 3 out of 4 dropped to the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, that's obviously.
I would rather drop 3 or 4 to the Cincinnati Reds than the daggum Washington Nationals. So that's what the Braves did this last weekend.
Yeah. Potato.
Yeah, maybe so.
I feel like we have similar sentiments on at least the Nationals have won something in like the past, half century.
All right, if we're talking all time here, yes. But right now, I mean, the Reds are a better team made up right now than what the Nationals are.
Like, barely. I mean, they have so many injured guys. Like,
that's
no McClain, no Encarnacion,
yeah.
Strand, and dude, it's just bad. I mean, as Adam was saying, just sending the fly the L. It was. I mean,
you started the day off like the first pitch hadn't even happened, and you're sending in the L's.
He kept sending it in, so I was like, I'll just get ahead of this one and send it in.
There we go.
It's like, dude, we got Tyone on the mound. You got this.
Oh man.
I don't know. It's a common thing that we see a lot with good front offices where a new guy comes in. It's kind of riding the fumes of what the guy before him, his predecessor, left. Yep. And that's what Jed's been doing. He's been inhaling the carbon monoxide from Theo's fumes. So it's starting to be kind of alarming. I would rather we just fire him before the trade deadline so it's not like some career-saving moves. But that's what happens when you pay Dansby Swanson at his peak as your highest paid guy.
He is the highest paid player.
And you knew, I've been on that all offseason. I was like, the year before, I was like, I do not want Dansby Swanson.
Yeah.
Here we are, batting right around the Mendoza line at 200, still making some errors at short.
Oh, is it that bad?
It's that bad. He's got warning track power. It's really fun.
Yeah, he does have warning track power.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, great season on the Braves for going into getting paid, but it was kind of one of those oh, no way, he's not as good as we thought. It's like when the Bears paid Mike Glennon $20 million a year.
I feel I don't know, that was pretty bad right there. Mike Glennon was pretty bad.
Always been an above replacement player, but not like a face of the franchise.
And the Braves are one of those teams that if they let someone go that they're not about to pay, outside of Freddie Freeman, and then this year it's going to be Max Fried, right? I think Max Fried will continue on, depending on will he be worth will he still have the same bang for his buck? I don't know about that. I don't think that he is. I don't think that Boris and the Braves have a very good relationship.
Yeah, dude. Scott Boras is.
I think the Braves and the Dodgers are two teams. As if you're a client of Scott Boras, pretty much. Don't worry about coming here.
Scott Boras is the reason I have trust issues. Him and Ken Rosenthal and John Heyman are all in bed together.
Well, let's dive into that.
So is he like the Jimmy Sexton of the MLB, basically?
Yeah, probably more even. He's got basically every power guy, and he kind of whiffed this offseason with a few guys like Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery. He let it ride out, and now Jordan Montgomery's got a 6.7 ERA, and Blake Snell's on the IL for the second time.
And I held on to Jordan Montgomery through all of this stuff, and then just for him to get back and I think in his last start, minus 17. I'm like, oh, attaboy.
He's on a 1 year, though, right? 25.
Yeah, it's 1 year.
Yeah, he had an interview where he's like, I feel like, he didn't say it, he's like, I feel like crap because every time I go out there, we just lose and I get shelled. And it's like, well, dude, when you skip the offseason, that'll do it. You're out of rhythm.
I mean, that's a good point, and I think that's across sports. How many contract holdouts have we seen where the player ends up coming back and produces to the level that we expected him to?
Maybe the far and few in the NFL, just because it's a little more prevalent, I think, with the missing camps or some OTAs. I don't know.
You got Amari Cooper missing training camp with the Cleveland Browns.
See, I think the training camp isn't as big of a deal. It's when it starts going into the season, with Le'Veon Bell a couple years back. I think Antonio Brown kind of did the same thing. I think that's where
they both did.
I think the training camp, especially once you've been around the league for a little bit, is kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But once you start actually missing games, that's when it becomes a slippery slope.
Because training camp's 2 or 3 days?
It's. I mean, especially for a vet, how much are you really asking a vet running back to do in training camp?
You're just making sure you're going to a new team, though. If you got to learn a new offense.
Well, that's fair, but a lot of that you can do. You're kind of doing before training camp anyway.
If you're playing for Green Bay or Philly, you need to go learn gang signs for Brazil.
Just don't wear green, baby. You're all right.
How do they pick 2 teams who
wear green?
It's called ignorance. They didn't think it through. They just thought, hey, we want to go to Brazil. Yeah. Which 2 teams can go? Oh, yeah.
Roger Goodell did. He makes $60 million a year. You didn't think he thought about that?
Okay. This is what they thought about.
Or maybe they needed the negative publicity.
They think they're all going to be wearing Brazil soccer jerseys in the fan section.
So Brazil's flag and the national team of Brazil's colors are green and yellow.
And blue.
Who's going there?
And blue.
Green Bay, green and yellow.
Yeah.
They probably thinking, oh, they'll be happy. Green and yellow, it'll match everything.
That does.
What's the capital of Brazil?
Rio de Janeiro, right? Or is it Sao Paulo?
I think it's Rio, but I'm not sure.
Your geography lesson with David Hayes.
Exactly. Well, next we're going to dive into the trauma with Max. It looks like it's Brasilia.
Brazil.
Yeah, the federal capital of Brazil is Brasilia. So I don't know, but this is not a Brazil thing. It's not even gangs. I'm being facetious about that. It's actually about soccer teams, football teams, the Corinthians and the Palmeiras or something like that. The home team there, their rival wears green. So they have an informal ban on that stadium in green. I think that is really not going to play that big of a deal into things as much as media. This is a great clickbait type article. I think there's some reality to it. Yeah, there's some reality to it. I don't think anyone's going to be losing their life.
Always draws attention.
Yes.
I love that the MLB had the Phillies in London for this too.
Dude.
Some of the videos of the Phillies fans in the stands is so funny. Like there's
that's like the last fan base that you ever was showcasing.
They need to have Philly and Boston because it's the two cities that kicked England's rear end in the Revolutionary War. That would have been a lot more I think
compelling.
Slap to the face of the British people.
There we go. You want to love baseball? Here, slap in the face.
And for the 9:30 a.m. games, it was so funny to fire it up and see there was multiple Phillies fans wearing Great Britain blew a 13
the
colony
British
lead.
blew a 13 colony lead, yeah.
Just wearing that there, that's awesome, dude.
That was actually the inspiration to my little. So Best of Bay is going on now, and you can go vote for the Afternoon Underdogs. Actually, so I've got a little PSA running right now that references the British blowing a 13 colony lead.
Yeah, it did. I mean, also speaking of just random countries.
Here we go.
Yep, two things. One, I'm so glad that they haven't won a World Cup in 60 years whenever they say it's coming home. And it made me think of how Canada is the England of hockey. It's never coming home. They're just never going to win.
When I was growing up, Canada was winning year in and year out. It felt like. I don't even know if they actually were. I think it's more or less for me playing the NHL video games, and when you play with Team Canada, they had.
I was talking about NHL. Just how the Canadian teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because when was the last one? 91?
93, Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Gretzky's LA Kings.
What are they doing with themselves?
What else do they have to do up there?
Well, curling. I did a thesis in college about that, and for a long time because of the exchange rate, Canadian teams were at a disadvantage because they paid their two biggest expenses, which are player salaries and travel expenses, in American dollars, but all their revenue was coming in through the Canadian loonie, so they were actually losing money.
Canadian loonie.
That's what they call their dollar over there. And it made it really hard for Canadian teams to get free agents. So unless they were drafting and developing well, they weren't able to bring the talent in.
Yes. There you go, man. How do I know our little neighbors to the north that? How did I not know that their dollar was the loonie?
It's a loonie and a toonie.
No, don't say that.
I swear.
Don't say that, bro. Is that legitimate? So the cents is toonie.
I don't know exactly how the denomination works, but yeah, it's a thing.
Looney Tunes.
I thought they had a politician last name Tooney. I thought that might
Trudeau.
But it's interesting though with the NFL talking about expanding to the Canada with that dollar coming up or that aspect of it, the exchange
rate, yeah.
And talking about going international more, how does that play? The whole economics of sports.
It's like euros. Euros are more than American money. So when they talk about these soccer players that get transferred for X amount of euros, you got to transfer that in American money. It's a lot more.
Well,
the toonie and the buck.
The buck?
Yeah, I mean,
what is the buck?
Same. Just
Where does it stop?
Name for a loonie. It's like cash and.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so that's kind of their slang for it.
But really, it's kind of like what else? What are you hanging your hat on?
A loonie is $1. A toonie is $2.
You also buy milk in bags in Canada.
I think you can buy milk in bags here, right?
No, not that I know.
Can't.
And gas is in liters.
But that's just their metric.
When I used to go to Canada when I was a kid, because I got family there, I just thought it was the coolest thing when I go to the arcades because I give them American dollar and I got 5 quarters back, and I was like, yes, I got a free game.
Robbing them.
Yeah.
Best game in the casino right there. You're just cashing out.
Hell yeah.
That would be very Canada, though. Something like that to happen.
What's that?
It's like, oh, you gave us $1. Here's $1.25.
Yeah, they're very nice people over there from what we hear. Yeah, so loonies, toonies, and bucks. Man, learn something new right here on the Afternoon Underdogs every day.
The most educational show on the radio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're well-rounded out here.
Well-rounded, my man.
Also, another thing that kind of makes me laugh is like, yep. And like Canadian fans are definitely more passionate, I would say, about hockey than say, with respect to the Florida Panthers. I don't think too many people in Fort Lauderdale knew the Panthers were in the playoffs till a month ago. And like that's gotta drive them nuts.
There's
all
people
those
that are probably still there that don't know.
Yeah, like okay, how many actual Panthers fans exist? Like, come on.
Ballpark number here?
Like
probably 61. I just like that number today.
Yeah. So about
how many fans do you think there are? I mean, it's got to be.
There's a decent amount now because of last season, them going to the Stanley Cup final and having a good season this season, but because of the lack of success since 1996, a lot of that fan base has fallen off the table until just recently.
Yeah,
I think in the last 2 or 3 years.
I was just thinking, like, as an Oilers fan, like, you have McDavid, best scorer in the league, and you're seeing all these Panthers fans get hype about their team, and you're like, man, I've watched 82 games plus the playoffs, and all these people just start buying tickets.
Like, a lot of those fans probably couldn't tell you, like, some of the big name players from, like, say, 25 years ago. Like the Scott Melby.
I think I know, like,
Dave
one
Lowry,
player from
the Beesbrook.
What, Ollie Jokinen?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, he was he's that. That's like the one. Well, hold on. They had a goalie too. Who was the goalie?
It was John Van Beesbrook back then.
Yeah, but that's not who I'm thinking of, though. He was more popular. I don't think he was Roberto Luongo, because he wasn't like a staple. He wasn't a staple of the Florida Panthers as much, I think, the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, he also played, but when he was in
This
Florida,
is a negative show today. This is a very negative show
They would
today.
always chant his name at the United Center because...
Is that how they would do it? Luongo, boom, Luongo.
Or they go Roberto, because like he'd get pulled all the time in playoff series against us because we just owned the Canucks at that time. So like I don't know, just not a Canucks fan.
So who are you going for in this Stanley Cup final?
I just wanted a good series, honestly. I
think we're all out of luck there.
The Panthers' defense is absurd, and like. Oh, and to go on, since we're just going all, international here on the Afternoon Underdogs, I think, like, the Oilers fans being, like, I definitely think, there's some sentiment. Because, like I said, American hockey fans kind of in the back of their heads don't want a Canadian team to win just because it's hilarious at this point.
Not in the back of my head. It's in the front of my mind.
Yeah, and then, like, it's kind of like how American fans, like, go to every Mexico game when we play them in soccer, wearing those like Dos Acero shirts because we knocked them out in the 2002 World Cup 2-0.
Hold on to it, baby.
Like, we beat them 2-0 like a ton of times with this golden era of U.S. players. So like I think it's just got
air quotes on golden era, which means that we're not quite there
top
to an
10
actual
World Cup odds.
Hey, I mean, you're the soccer guy. I just take to your advice on it.
We just got to fire Greg Berhalter and get someone in there, and maybe we got a shot.
Maybe I'm not great at remembering things that happen around the world of soccer, but didn't they already fire him and then he got back somehow? Or
briefly, because someone tried to like cancel him. It wasn't.
Oh, I remember. It was like one of
Apparently, was an old player that played.
Absolutely.
It was an old player from that 02 team whose son's on the team, Gio Reyna's dad.
Yeah,
and the guy who was the replacement did a lot better than Berhalter. Like, it was like no doubter games. We were just beating teams like 3-0, 4-0, won the Gold Cup, which is like the regional North American thing. But we've got a few injuries, and not to make excuses, but they don't look that good. And I think Copa America could be bad.
But we've got an automatic bid into the 2026 World Cup, right?
Yeah, we do.
So don't worry about wins and losses right now. Participation trophies till we get to what does that even mean?
That's all of us in South America. So like,
so it's important.
Yeah, we got like Brazil. We played Brazil in a friendly. We were gonna get demolished. And Brazilians are.
What if we wear green and just really piss them off?
I'm down.
Do they go better or worse at that point?
Well, like, I don't know, but it's not even the team Brazil that has anything to do with this.
They're rolling out like their B team for this friendly. I mean, they have Vinicius in and a few other guys, Rodrigo, but like the Brazilian fans are like kind of woe is me on Twitter about the team they're rolling out just because they have some injuries and stuff. And it's like, dude, this team is going to give us
Vinicius, that's Real Madrid, right?
Yeah, he's probably going to win the Ballon d'Or.
Left striker, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, look at this, retaining some soccer information.
Oh, yeah.
On. Real quick, Max, so why won't the U.S. do like what we do with everything else? Like outspend and just go find some banging coach that's like the greatest out there.
Like Cameron Brink.
And bring him in to coach our boys up.
Great question, Rick. I'm glad you asked. It is like, it's kind of like how we can never get a good commissioner in the MLB. It's like the blind leading the blind. And like a lot of the Euro guys who are like elite, like Pep Guardiola or whatever, which everyone's like running joke. It's kind of like Indiana's running joke that Brad Stevens will be the coach of Indiana basketball one day. It's never going to happen.
They're really hoping for that.
Because he's from there.
Yeah. But, I love it. Hold
like
on to it.
And like maybe we'll get Guardiola or Zidane at some point, but it's just like the biggest gap is the quality of play is so much better over there. It's like how if you're playing in Europe for basketball and then come here, it's just like it's a whole.
Would it be like
world.
slumming it to come to here and coach us, basically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time. And like that's like what Pulisic attributes like his biggest success to is that development between when he was like 14 and 18 with Dortmund's youth squad, because he's like it opened me to a whole world I didn't know was like possible in soccer. And like here it's good, it's competitive, but it's not even in like the same arena.
Stratosphere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the same way that they play baseball over there, unless you're Venezuela, Dominican Republic, some of those places. Like it's the same thing though.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot. I mean, it's funny because it would be a high pressure position for any of us, but like those guys coming from Europe and then coaching here, they're like, if it doesn't work out, they're probably like, whatever.
What's the odds of Ted Lasso becoming the next coach for Team USA?
We need a guy like that because Greg is the least inspiring guy.
We need Nick Saban. Is that what we're doing?
Nick Saban to coach Team USA.
It's like when the Browns were going to interview Condoleezza Rice because they said they needed someone from a leadership position. That's one of my favorite storylines ever. I wish they did that.
850-215-6290. What is one of the wildest sports stories that you remember, Max? You got one more, or you got to ride out?
I can probably do one.
All right, one more. You hear right here on the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to open up the next segment with our traffic jamming trivia question. We'll be right back.
It's all over the board.
America's team plays here.
And a rocket to right field. This thing is into orbit.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Acuna, Ozzie, and Austin Riley lead the Braves' high-powered offense.
Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzie. Home run. Ball game.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored by Brock's Pest Control, Store More Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Billburn Kia, and Mid-South Lumber.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour coming out of the west and temps near 89. Tonight we will have mostly clear skies and be warm at 77. Mostly sunny most of the day except a possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening tomorrow and a high 91. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
That Boot Store has the perfect Father's Day gift for that special dad. Select from one of the largest collections of Western wear and Carhartt work clothes in the Panhandle. That Boot Store has been in business for 60 years and feels they've just begun. Shop That Boot Store this Father's Day and every day. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Billburn Kia, 15th Street, Panama City. That Boot Store where God is good all the time.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
The mission?
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Save the Panhandle from boring cookie-cutter radio. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back. This is the Afternoon Underdogs right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 right here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We are less than an hour away. We're doing it at 5:30 today for the 7-year send-off. All you've got to do is call the numbers 850-215-6290 and be caller number 10. You'll automatically win a sweet qualifying prize, which is a Dave & Buster's swag bag, a jersey, and a Swampy Jacks gift card, $10 off coupon, rather. Over there to Swampy Jack's Wongo Adventure. Automatically get that qualifying prize. Then you go into the grand prize drawing, and you could win an all-inclusive trip to see the Braves take on the Toronto Blue Jays. That'll be Saturday, September 7th. That comes with your hotel, spending cash, food, and beverage at the game, and some amazing seats in the Xfinity Club. Brought to you by PCB Hobby, Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, and Home 2 Suites. Our trivia question for today: with conference realignment set to kick in next month, only 4 of the past 25 Heisman Trophy winners will have played for schools not under the current SEC Big Ten umbrella. Can you name them? So we're looking for 4 Heisman winners who were not under the current SEC Big Ten umbrella.
I took like the first couple minutes when you're coming into the show today to write my answers down.
Oh, so you've got guesses.
I'm
here.
90. The one.
Is this one of them?
I'm only.
Or did he not win?
No. I'm only not 100% sure about one of them because I think it was a little bit earlier in the towards the beginning of the 25 years.
All right.
I won't go too far into it, but
all right. Caveman Rick, you don't even really care about this trivia question.
I might have a couple of them though, but I don't know if I could have all 4 of them. But I think maybe a couple.
That's right.
So you're kind of going the same direction I was, where I was like, oh man, all the Oklahoma quarterbacks. But then I'm thinking, well, Oklahoma's part of the SEC. So much conference realignment. I think we're going to be befuddled when college football 25 does come out this year. All right, so who's your 4? I don't care if you give away the answers.
The only one I'm not sure about, Chris Winkie. Right? Does he fall in that 25 years?
He does.
Okay.
He does.
That was the one I wasn't sure about.
All right. So you know the others.
I know the other things.
Yeah, so then, all right, no doubt then. I believe we're about to have we've got David on the line. David, great name there. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. What's going on?
I was calling for trivia.
All right, here we go, man. Conference realignment, that's going to be kicking in next month. Only 4 of the past 25 Heisman Trophy winners will have played for schools that are not under the current SEC Big Ten umbrella. Who are those 4 Heisman winners?
I didn't hear the 25-year thing. I was going to say Charlie Ward, Jameis Winston, Chris Winkie for 3. They're not in those conferences, but I didn't realize you said 25 years.
Oh, it's all right. Well, hey, you know what? If you want to take a stab at it.
Couple. You got.
So Jameis is one of them.
Jameis is one of them.
Chris Winkie's one of them.
Yeah, we'll give you 2 of them right there. So you've got 2 of the 4. Now the other guys, you've got a ACC team and a Big 12 team. One guy is a commentator.
Clemson guy.
No Clemson guy.
No?
No, but he's a pretty big deal in the NFL.
And the other guy was a bust in the NFL.
He plays quarterback. Some would say
Bust is strong.
What did he do?
Some would say that one of these guys is a running back, but he actually plays the position of quarterback.
It's not Josh Allen.
All right, David, we'll give you about 5 more seconds here to blurt out some answers. What do you got? We've got Jameis Winston, Chris Winkie, looking for 2 more. Do.
Got Dave on Dave Crum over here.
Yeah.
That's about
quarterback from Texas, Young.
Oh, Vince Young, but they're going to be under that SEC umbrella. David, thank you so much for the call, my friend.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir. You have a great day, man. 4 Heisman winners now. David just answered 2 of them. Jameis Winston, Chris Winkie. Can you pick up where he left off and get $25 to not the, but that boot store? With conference realignment set to kick in next month, only 4 of the past 25 Heisman Trophy winners will have played for schools that are not under the current SEC Big Ten umbrella. Can you name them? We've got Jameis Winston, Chris Winkie off the board. One commentator for ESPN college broadcast. I think he does. He's actually been ousted. He was on Monday Night Football.
Jason Kelce took his place.
Jason Kelce's going to be taking his place.
My guy.
The other guy is a quarterback in the National Football League. We won't give you AFC or NFC or if they play for a bird team or any of those kind of hints right there. 850-215-6290. All right, what do you want to talk about before you get out of here, Max? We'll leave it up to you.
Well, that trivia question reaffirmed that Tyler knows more about college football than anyone I know. He got it on a dime.
Yeah.
Really, he's so knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Why do you think he's here? I don't need any reaffirmation. I know where I stand.
Knowledge is my only thing keeping me on this show. Everything else is just I'm here for kicks and giggles.
And humility.
And humility. No, but I mean, I think there is something to be said about how knowledgeable you are in college football and the personality and presence that you have, though, because there's a lot of people who are very knowledgeable and stuff, but I don't sit here and ask them to. Availability, too, is also the best. The best ability.
Yeah. Well, and, I think, you guys both root for, obviously, very, powerhouse programs, and I think you guys both have very rational takes on said programs, where a lot of the fan base kind of gets a bad name. If more people listen to you guys from the fan base wouldn't
I've been telling people they need to listen to me for years.
I will tell you this. I don't think that I would have been able to last as long, especially in this area, if I was, just so pro-Bama, like just a typical Alabama fan, because we've already got that in the morning show. That's what I'm saying, though. And you've already got that, so why would you want to revisit that again from 4 to 6?
Case in point, like you even said, you've gotten off of message boards and stuff like that just because of just this insane stuff that people just say, and you're just more grounded in a lot of.
Well, but the thing is I think that's across the board in internet.
Everything of life now. But
dude, we have AI. We have artificial intelligence telling us what comment sections are about to be about. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? With if you're scrolling on Facebook and then you'll have this topical thing going on or whatever. I wouldn't even say it's topical, but it's trending going on, and they'll be the comment section is arguing about whether they believe the dress is blue or if it's gold. That type of narrative
Rise of the
there. So, your Phillies, JT Real Muto, he's going to be out for a little bit, undergoing surgery on his right knee.
That dude's a soldier, too, man. He's been getting beat up this whole season, and this is the first time he's going to be missing some time. And, so he'll be back better than ever.
Who's the backup after Stubbs?
I'm not sure, because we don't have to use a whole lot of people after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're really fortunate with that catching situation,
and we have been for a while, because before him we had Ruiz.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
and the Cubs have yet to throw out. I think we've thrown out one runner on the base paths this year. We're the most ran on team in baseball.
Golly.
Good catcher's very important.
Jan Gomes,
he's still playing ball.
Barely. Whatever you want to count, a 180 batting average.
Are we considering that playing ball this point?
He's got that Drew Brees squirt gun arm back there, and Miguel Amaya just is not a guy.
Philly starting pitching is the best in baseball, but a lot of that, give it up to JT.
I would love to see the Cubs get William Contreras. They're not going to.
No, the Brewers never do that.
Exactly. But, because Wilson played there, and now he's playing for a division rival in the St. Louis Cardinals. So it would be cool to see William Contreras over there playing for the Cubbies. Yeah, he, is not the greatest defensive catcher out there, but he's definitely.
There's his brother. So,
exactly. Well, man, I feel bad for Wilson Contreras, with the whole fracture.
Yeah, that stinks.
Yeah, that is tough. I don't know how I feel about this next one, though. Joey Chestnut has been banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and that is due to his deal to represent Impossible Foods, which are, not necessarily impossible foods. They're plant-based foods, impossible to eat and be happy with what you're eating. Yeah. So, unless you're a vegetarian,
liberally.
My brother's got a hot take about this when he said Joey Chestnut shouldn't be banned, he should be jailed.
He should be jailed.
You disrespect the game that gave you so much, you deal with the consequences.
Yeah. Amen. Your mom said that?
My brother says that.
Your brother?
And Max is good family. That's a good family over there. My thing, though, is this. So it's Major League Eating, I believe, the one that's, I think it's Nathan's, the hot dogs. Yeah. And so Impossible is a rival company with them.
Is it, though?
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say.
Are they doing this just to give somebody else a chance?
There could be that.
Why do some people just have to stick their fingers in things they shouldn't? Impossible Foods, PETA. Stop trying to ruin Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
But see, Nathan's hot dog eating contest, like,
remember when Big Cat was in it?
What person who's watching that is going to think about, man, I really would. I'm having a hankering right now for a plant-based hot dog.
In publicity, because the 4th of July is just around the corner. This is just drumming up noise for 3 weeks from now.
Do you think they're going to try to appeal it?
But Joey Chestnut's not even going to be in it.
There's time for them to have an appeal or something. You know what I'm saying? You do all this and then last second, hey, we decided to let Joey.
What if Kobayashi hasn't been doing it for a while? What if he just swoops in?
Yes, like a.
Who brings more notoriety to their sport, Caitlin Clark or Joey Chestnut? Is that
Joey Chestnut? There's not even a question.
Really? You think so?
I mean, Caitlin Clark brings a lot of eyes, but if we're boiling it down to who brings more eyes, right? So if
That's interesting. I think,
and again, you would have to do these numbers because all I'm saying
is a one-time thing. But I guess I don't know. It really depends how you derive it because it's like. Joey Chestnut, the best in his class, and obviously WNBA is not the best in the class of that sport, right?
And that's but in the gender of that sport, they would be the most popular, right? The most popular brand of women's basketball.
I think college women's
fair.
Like after the season 2, it's just it was actually kind of cool to see.
I do like how how college basketball rolls right into the WNBA. So could you imagine how much steam the WNBA would have lost had there been a whole year between Caitlin Clark getting drafted and her playing? But the fact that all of those rookies and the beautiful Cameron Brink could get in and just get right to work, I think was great. Max, thanks so much for dropping by, man. As always, it was a lot of fun, and we'll see what kind of controversy we can stir up for next week. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Hour number 2 of the Afternoon Underdogs starts next.
ESPN Northwest Florida, available on all your devices.
Keep connected.
Hear your favorite sports talk hosts.
The Coach James Hale Show. You're listening to Inside Drive live.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
And your favorite teams.
Braves win it!
We're live on the app. Tune in, Alexa, ESPNPC.com, Facebook, YouTube, and in your car at 101.9 and 104.3. Wherever you go, there we are. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny with a gentle breeze around 10 miles per hour coming out of the west and temps near 89. Tonight we will have mostly clear skies and be warm at 77. Mostly sunny most of the day except the possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening tomorrow and a high 91. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job, it's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting your family.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
When the sun sets on the Emerald Coast, the freaks come out and play.
Hi, I'm a recovering crackhead.
Hand me that shotgun.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Get on your knees!
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Man, I don't know if I could take it. My little brain has learned so much today. The capital of Brazil is not Sao Paulo. It's not Rio de Janeiro. It's Brasilia. I've learned...
Looney and a Toonie.
Looney and a Toonie. Cameron Brink is the prettiest player in the WNBA. Allegedly. I mean, that is a subjective topic, isn't it?
Beauty's in the eye of the beer holder.
The beer holder, man, and sometimes that helps out plenteous. Again, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida. And we've got Justin on the line playing some trivia with the Afternoon Underdogs today. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Man, doing fantastic. Conference realignment, that is set to kick in next month. Only 4 of the past 25 Heisman Trophy winners will have played for schools that are not under the current SEC Big Ten umbrella. Can you name them, Justin?
Yeah, so I think obviously Chris Winkie and Jameis Winston.
Yes, sir.
And RG3 and Lamar Jackson, I think.
Boom, you got it. You don't think. You know, my friend. Justin, who is your college football team?
The Gators.
Oh, the Gators.
Poor guy.
Oh, man, what do you think about Tyler saying that? Poor guy. 4.5 is the total set for the Florida Gators. Do you think you guys are over or under that number of 4.5? We had them last week as too high, actually. Too many wins.
That may have been me specifically.
I think it was, but I kind of just lumped in my answers with yours. So 4.5 wins. What do you think of there for the Florida Gators?
I've yet to look at the schedule and count, but you know, my heart's saying more.
There we go. How much more is your heart saying? Because we don't want you to have any type of heart attack or anything. So maybe temper expectations.
His mind is telling him no.
6 to 7, I think.
6 to 7 is beautiful.
Down year, but
how many wins do the Gators need to be able to keep Billy Napier if that's what the Gator fans want?
Ooh, that's tough. I think it's split usually with the fans that I hear, but
yeah.
I'd imagine they have to have a over 500 season to keep them.
Do the Gators
still be tough?
Do the Gators win the College World Series?
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping.
Why not?
Hey, I'm pulling. I got to be honest with you. I'm pulling for FSU because they've never won one before, and my mind pick is I'm going to put that on Texas A&M and the Aggies for some reason. But hey, 4 SEC teams, 4 ACC teams should be great. Justin, do me a favor, hang on the line real quick, and Caveman Rick's going to tell you how you can get your prize package. All right?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Great stuff. Love the calls. Y'all keep them coming, man. I love learning about our listeners and chatting with them and who your favorite teams are. I mean, last year, right before the season, which is wild to think about, right? Because we were doing all the guessing on predicting the schedules, wins, losses, and all of that good stuff last year. Then we got someone calling right before the season starts, like 2 weeks before the season. What do you guys think about Missouri? It's like, well, man, we don't really get that a lot. And now, Missouri's got a lot of hype. They got Cam Keys out of Mosley going to be playing over there. So I'm excited about Missouri and what the Tigers can bring to the table this year, especially in a year where it's not East versus West in the SEC. It's essentially who's going to have the easiest schedule.
Yeah, Georgia doesn't play Missouri for the first time since they come over to the SEC. And so it'd be like, it's kind of makes me, I'm not going to say care less, but, Missouri's played Georgia's about as tough as anybody has the last 2 years. And so it's kind of I don't know if a relief's the right word because I think they've been coming. No, we would have been going there this year. But, we got to go to Ole Miss, Texas, and Bama instead. So I guess it's not like we really lucked out on that side of it. But it's interesting to see because I think Drinkwitz was really kind of on the hot seat going into last year. I mean, he had like 6 and 7, 6 and 7, 7 and 6 type seasons for a few years going into there. And obviously a big 10 and 2 type year. Beating Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl was huge. Mm-hmm. And for whatever you want to say about the opt-outs Ohio State had, from a perception-wise, like a program like Missouri beating a program like Ohio State is still a great boost for a team like Missouri. And I don't even mean that disrespectfully, just where they fall in the all-time and even current rankings of college football programs.
And another thing is I don't want to hear nothing about opt-outs in bowl games. No, what I'm saying? And I know you don't, coming from like the Georgia pedestal, but it's like, that's just one thing. It's like, it is what it is. Like, honestly, I think we all would agree that we would like to see these players playing in the bowl games. We're not privy to that. If they want to make the decision like, hey, listen, the NFL draft is much more important than closing out my career with an exclamation point here at the college that I chose to go to, then that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, I do totally understand that. So if you're a Marvin Harrison and, it just doesn't seem right for you to play in the bowl game, by all means, that's fine and dandy. However, I'm not going to give you an excuse, no matter how many opt-outs you have, no matter what the score of the game is. Like, it's just not.
At the end of the day, Program A lost to Program B.
Boom. When Alabama lost to Utah back in the day, when they lost to Oklahoma, did Alabama fans say, oh, well, Alabama didn't care about the game as much. Yeah, sure, whatever. But that's what the stupid fans say. That's what we are, right? Like, I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm putting myself here. You guys can be the smart fans. I'll say I'm the stupid fan. Like, at the end of the day, we're not a legitimate part of that program. And so
I wouldn't say stupid, maybe crazy, like the name Fanatic goes by.
Yeah.
Which, a very strong. We're having a negative show today, Caveman Rick. Just let me be negative.
Just let him steer into the bad side.
And look who's telling you that about
exactly. You're being a stand-up guy today, okay? All right, let me be the negative.
The Twisted Tuesday over here.
Twisted Tuesday. Exactly. We're just twisted around like a what was that game back in the day? Bop It or what? Twisted. Yeah, there you go. Oh my goodness. 850-215-6290. All right, so I don't know why I have buy or sell here because we're not buying or selling anything. It's just too low, just right, or too high. All right, so last week we had Auburn, their win total 7.5. We had them as too low. Florida sitting at 4.5. We just talked with Justin about that. We had them at too high. Mississippi State at 4.5. We had them at just right. Missouri at 9.5. We had them at just right. Oklahoma at 7.5. We had them at just right. And then Texas A&M at 8.5. And again, had them at just right. Now, I don't remember. I thought we did, though. Florida State and Miami. So let's revisit those real quick. I just didn't write those down on the paper. So let's start with Florida State at 9.5.
I think I had them just right.
Just right.
Because their schedule sets up fairly favorably.
Yeah. No competition in the ACC.
And there's that. I mean, outside of Clemson, which again, we don't know what... all we know is that it seems like all the players are buying into what Dabo talks about because no one hits the transfer portal and then no one gets into the transfer portal and goes to Clemson. Or rather, should we say...
Did you see the Jeopardy clip where they photoshopped him in?
I did see that. Didn't hear it, though. Didn't hear it.
So basically, it was like a Jeopardy question. It's like, what is this, like sci-fi sounding thing that players into to change teams? And like it showed all, none of the contestants got it. And they just like photoshopped Dabo Swinney in over one of the contestants, him just kind of looking around like he had no idea what it was called either. It's like, that got me going a little bit. But yeah, Florida State, I mean, you could look at their schedule at the end of the year and their best team they play is like 9-3. I mean, honestly. So, I mean, their schedule could set a very favorable. Obviously, Clemson could be better than that. Obviously, Notre Dame could be better than that. Obviously, a team like North Carolina or Florida or somebody that could surprise and be better than that. Not Florida. I mean, if we're being honest.
You know what? Evan just texted in. He says, I love the negativity today. So, thanks, Evan. I don't know if that's a great thing or not.
If they lose more than 3 for sure, something went very wrong. Or DJU is just a train wreck. One of the two.
Oh, and we also got a text earlier. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about now, but 38 on July 16th. I don't know who this is that texted it in, but he said college football on Xbox will be my birthday present. So, hey, there we go. That's our highest age right now to this
36?
point. 38.
Oh,
38 July 16th right there.
Gotcha.
So I'm 33. We've got Caveman Rick who doesn't care, so you don't count in this one.
All right.
Well, I mean,
that's
fair though, right?
Well, it should count. I mean, I'm like the older crowd that's saying it's not as big deal.
Well, if you like it, but if you wanted it to, if it was a big deal to you, then you would count.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're looking for. So, and we're really, I just want to find someone who's over the age of 55, preferably is somewhere around the age of 61.
Man, those people by that time are going to have arthritis and they can't use their hands to use a controller to play.
Oh, come on. The negativity is real.
I'm trying, all right, my age, okay?
Yeah.
Before I had my neck surgery and I had issue with my right hand, I was losing it because, playing these games like COD and stuff, having 12-year-olds kicking my tail and then talking trash to me, you know what I mean? Because they're born with a controller in their hand, and I started out with the old Atari controller, one stick and one button, and I've had to work my way up.
Stick and one button.
I was born in an analog world, and I've converted my whole entire life to this digital world we're living in now. I could read.
Hey, the controllers are still.
I can read an analog clock. I can read it in cursive. What can you do, young crowd? Can you read an analog clock? Can you read it in cursive? Probably not, because they didn't teach you in school.
I wasn't ready for that as I'm sitting here staring at an analog clock. I can't read that thing, Caveman Rick. Can you read that for me and tell me
There's a lot of people that can't, man, if it ain't digital.
What if the numbers, really make it bad for them? What if the numbers were written out in cursive?
How about this? An old rotary phone from back in the day? People, I'm sure a lot of people today would look at that and be like, what? How do I do that? How does it work?
I had no idea Caveman Rick was called Caveman because he was so old.
Well, essentially, it's like, it doesn't even really have to do with the age as much as it is just it has to do with the baseball nets in Major League Baseball, actually.
Mentality on some things.
Michigan State Bruce, are you looking forward to it, though? Are you looking forward to college football 25? He says 58, but haven't played since Tecmo Bowl, as you brought up earlier, Caveman Rick. So there you go, man. An updated Tecmo Bowl, which, again, I played that not too long ago with Caveman Rick, and I mean, honestly, the graphics are somewhat surprising.
Back in the day,
not
like
even
86?
just the way that the game looks, but more so the way that it plays. It's like when you're controlling something, it goes where you expect it to go, which I think is I mean, you know, for games back in the day, I remember there was a lot of games I would play and be like, what is this controller doing? Is it broken? My goodness. Well, let's get back to what we actually came here to talk about. Oh, Nick Baldwin, baby. Appreciate it. He said 49 and cannot wait. Are you guys going to do some kind of college football 25 tourney? Don't threaten me with a good time, brother. We will set up TVs in this daggum building, and I will be like, hey, as soon as the show ends at 1 o'clock, we'll start. I'll line you guys up outside the door, and I'll whoop you one by one. All right? No, I really am looking forward to this game. The only thing that still is like, we've gotten so deep into this cross-platform type situations across games, and now here we go to one of the biggest games that we've ever been able to play, or getting back to one of the most hyped, because it could actually end up being a huge letdown.
That would be
it would suck for people like you who are like getting back. It was like, oh, I'm buying a PS5 or I'm buying an Xbox to get back into this, and the game's garbage.
It would have to be very horrible for people to admit that it's that bad, I think, because I think there's that much hype swirling around it, and people have been talking about it for so long that people aren't going to want to admit, man, this game sucks.
I
on the
won't.
flip side, though,
I'm going to be
if
optimistic.
Your expectations are so high.
Yeah.
You come in and it's not great. You're just going to be like, oh, man, that was kind of a letdown. I can see it going both ways.
That's the second. We just got another text. Is there any way ESPN can set up a NCAA tournament for the new game? Yes, there's a way. If you get in touch with David Hayes, David Hayes will. I'm the guy. I'm the guy when it comes to these type of things. We will make something happen. Absolutely. We've already got 2 people showing interest. Yeah, we'll make something happen for sure. Cannot wait about that. I could spend the rest of my afternoon sitting here talking about college game day, or not college game day, college football, even college game day. Getting ready for that. Really stoked for Florida State and Georgia Tech across the pond over there in Ireland. Man, you think Conor McGregor's going to throw out the first pitch?
First pitch?
First pitch.
Is that a thing?
Not at all. But, I mean, it is in baseball if they were playing a baseball game. But
I was making sure I didn't miss something last year because it was Notre Dame and Navy, I think, last year. And so I was making sure I didn't miss something from that.
It was Notre Dame and Navy.
I know.
Wait, was it Navy?
It was Navy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And who was it the first year that they did it?
I think it was like Navy and Georgia Tech.
I think you're right about that. Why is Georgia Tech getting...
Why is Navy?
That's true, too.
I don't know. Well, I guess Georgia Tech, for Georgia Tech, though, it's
Notre Dame, I get, right?
Yeah,
the Fighting Irish, that should be
for Tech, it's
like,
not a
they
bad
should be
way to
there
get
every
extra
year.
publicity they may not normally get.
I think the
same for Navy, right?
Same for Navy.
Navy and Tech are both on the Eastern Seaboard. I think usually they try to make teams that are like closer to the travel.
Yeah, since they care so much about that.
So
Look at the Big Ten.
East for to not have to do the same team twice. Well,
yeah,
two teams twice now. Navy.
Yeah, because when Georgia Tech plays, that'll be their second
next
time.
year it's Kansas State and Iowa State.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was kind of joking about going to that game, but
you're talking about going to that game?
Not legitimately.
Okay. If Georgia played, though, you'd go.
I'd probably find a way to make it work. I think I'd find a way to make it work. I mean, what are the odds? Like, you'll know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance.
It is. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, when you get those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, sometimes you just got to go.
Yeah, I paid ungodly amounts of money to go to the first Georgia-Bama National Championship because I never knew if I was going to see another one again.
Probably not a Bama and Georgia one.
Well, it ended up going to 2 Bama and Georgia National Championship games. One was a lot better than the other, but I made it to Indianapolis and back.
That is true, yeah. That was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that happened twice for
in
you.
4 years.
Man, that is absolutely wild. Yeah, for me, it was Tampa Bay Lightning playing hockey in the Titan Stadium, which it will end up being a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because the Titans aren't going to be in Nissan Stadium but for another couple more years. And then at that point, they're probably not going to be hosting any stadium series because it's going to be an indoor stadium.
And if they did, the chances of them playing Tampa Bay again are probably slim Clemson none. It'd be a different team.
Exactly. So I was very glad that got to go to that game. Honestly, the only thing I can think about right now is how we're going to set up this tournament for college football. We're going to have to.
Y'all just ruined the rest of the show for Dave.
No. It's not ruined. I think it's amped up, actually, amplified there. All right, let's talk about your Georgia Bulldogs. Let's go through their schedule. On 3 had them at 10.5. So what are we thinking about Georgia? 10.5, just right? Too high? Too low?
I think 10.5 is fair. I mean, we've talked about some of the bigger road games.
If you're going to bet, you're going to bet over or under if you're going to throw money on
I'm never going to bet under on them dogs.
On anything, he says.
I mean, yeah. The rest of the schedule is pretty manageable. I mean, I know you got Tennessee again this year, but Kirby has dominated that offense better than just about any other defensive coach in the country since Heupel took over. Florida, we've talked about Florida a few times. I won't keep, digging them down. Tech at the end of the year, they played Tech. Tech played Georgia close last year to kind of close out the year, but that game's in Athens on Black Friday, which is the first time I've ever seen Georgia play on a non-Saturday in the regular season, which is kind of interesting. We play Kentucky, we play Mississippi State.
That is very weird, though, isn't it? Like,
it's a little odd.
Black Friday games, because normally when I think of Black Friday, I think Nebraska, Iowa,
Egg Bowl.
Egg Bowl.
Sometime,
and most of the time, no, I don't think.
Has Iron Bowl never been on a Black Friday?
That I can remember. Yeah. I'm not going to say never because they've been playing since the daggum 1800s.
You guys are funny. When I think of Black Friday games, I think of hockey games in the NHL on Black Friday because they play games. Like my Philadelphia Flyers always do win that day.
This year we're going to be thinking, or last year, Dolphins Jets NFL. I think we're going to have Black Friday game
again. And they're doing
a
Christmas game this year.
Yeah, 2 of them and then, on Wednesday.
Yeah, and on, was it Peacock?
Something like Netflix, I think.
It's Netflix. It is Netflix.
Peacock this past year, my bad.
Yeah, that'll be odd.
And then we got Clemson to start the year, which I'm not super high on Clemson either. So, I mean, I think...
You're thinking another 7-3 ball game there? Or wait, it was 10-3. It was 10-3 when y'all opened up the season against each other.
I think we beat them by like 21 plus.
Ooh, that game's 11 a.m. in the morning, though. It'll be...
noon kick local time.
But steamy.
It's going to be played in the Dome. It's going to be played in...
y'all are in Atlanta? So it's a home game for Georgia.
It's neutral site.
We
play
neutral. I get that. Yeah. A neutral site home game, though.
Yeah.
For Georgia.
Yeah, for Georgia.
I mean, Clemson fans might travel well for that.
They're only like 60 miles away from Atlanta. 70.
Which game are you more worried about? September 14th versus Kentucky on the road, or the next one, September 28th? You do get a bye week before you got Bama at the house.
I'll be worried about Kentucky when they give us a reason to be worried about Kentucky.
Okay, starting to sound like Florida over here. Starting to sound like the Gators.
Maybe, but no, that 4-game stretch of playing Bama, Auburn, State, and Texas is going to be a tough schedule. Obviously, if we get through that undefeated, then there's no way we lose 2 more.
How often are teams having 2 bye weeks like this?
It's because of the way it's because of the year, how Easter fell early.
Okay.
The week 1 is in August instead of September this year. It's just something. It happens every 6 or 7 years, I guess. I guess it's a little bit more common than I realized. Because I kind of thought the same thing going into the year. And obviously with the first year,
and especially with y'all's buys kind of being close. So like September 21st is a bye week, and then October 26th is going to be a bye week for you guys as well. And that's right there in between. So you're in between Kentucky and Bama, both road games for Georgia, and then in between Texas and neutral site for Florida there. So and y'all normally always have that bye right before Florida, right?
We didn't for a long while.
Okay.
But
now, because there's not as good, you need that bye, right?
Well, it was one of those things, like Spurrier was huge on having that bye week before the Georgia game. And then we know how Spurrier dominated Georgia it was like 17-1 over an 18-game stretch or something like that. That Florida was beating Georgia for a good bit. And ever since Georgia has moved their bye week to before that game, it's leveled out a little bit. Obviously, their coaching hasn't been quite as good, and Georgia's been on a little bit better tear.
All right, so the question is just right, too high, too low for Georgia, sitting at 10.5. I'm going to say just right.
You can't put it at 11.5, so 10.5 is probably about as high as anybody.
You're right, so exactly, because 11.5, you got to go undefeated at that point.
It's going to be crazy if Georgia goes 12-0 regular season again this year, 4 straight times, and we haven't lost a regular season game since COVID. That's going to be an interesting.
Would you rather go undefeated, lose in the SEC championship game, or lose a game in the regular season and win the SEC championship and be the number 1 overall seed?
I think it's
going
hard.
Into the college football playoff.
It's hard to say without knowing the rest of the bracket.
But if you lose, but you win the SEC championship, you don't end up top 4, which I don't know how that would work out. But you get to host first-round playoff game.
See, I saw a mock bracket where Bama was the 5 seed and Georgia was the 2. So that was Georgia was the SC champion. And like Bama's path, they played Boise State and Kansas State.
Oh, we're going to talk about that next.
The 2 teams they had to play to get to the Final Four. Like, I mean, and Georgia would have had to play the winner of Texas Ole Miss, which would have been kind of boring as a rematch for both teams. But like, you're telling me we could play Boise State and Kansas State as opposed to having to play one of Texas or Ole Miss? I'm not sure. I mean, granted, it's 2 games versus 1, but I'm not sure the other path wouldn't have.
So that would have Boise State essentially as the Group G5
the
winner?
highest ranked Group 5 conference champion, I'm assuming.
Interesting.
Like I said, it would really kind of depend on how the rest of the bracket play. And Notre Dame is not going to get the shaft a lot of people think they're going to get. I think like not being part of the conference isn't going to hurt them.
Yeah, they're going to be perennially the 5 or 6 seed.
And they're going to get a bye week anyway with the conference championship week.
Yeah.
And they're going to get a host of playoff games.
Well, and it was like Steve Barnes yesterday bringing up, what school was it? It was a group of 5 school that doesn't play any Liberty. They don't have any Power 5 opponents on their schedule. It's like if you go 12-0, but you don't play any Power 5 teams, and the committee last year kept Florida State undefeated, Florida State, ACC champion, Florida State out of the and we're talking about 4 teams compared to 12. I don't think that you can let in a team who goes 12-0 and has no Power 5 wins on their resume.
Team, you should have to play at least one, even if it's Vanderbilt. I mean, that would suck, but at least you made some kind of effort.
They're like Power 6.5 or something like that.
But at least you would have made some kind of effort.
Yeah, there you go. That is a academic effort if I've ever heard one. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. Kyle Albritton says David is going to have Sketch show up for the college football tournament. What's up, brothers? We'll be right back after this.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Are you tired of dynasties? Sick of seeing Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs hoist the Super Bowl trophy or the Oklahoma Sooners in their 4th consecutive softball championship? Then you should stop what you're doing right now. Go to ESPNPC.com and vote for the Afternoon Underdogs for Best of Bay. As Americans, I like to think we still root for the underdogs. It was just over 200 years ago that the British blew a 13-column lead, and now here we are. Vote for the Afternoon Underdogs today.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly clear skies tonight with very little wind, and look for the low to be 77. Tomorrow morning, there will be mostly sunshine with the temperature reaching 88. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a high of 90. Thursday will have a high of 88 and sunshine in the morning, followed by sprinkles. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Behind some strong defense, clutch pitching, and a solid offense, this 2024 Brave squad's gearing up to make some noise in the National League.
He sends one soaring to right field, back to the chop house, 3-0 Braves. He's done it again.
Tonight, the Braves road trip rolls on from Baltimore as Austin Riley and the Braves take on the Orioles at Camden Yards.
Coverage starts here after the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Chop on, Braves fans.
That is gone!
Since 2017, your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
73 days, 18 hours, 34 minutes, and 40 seconds until college football starts this year.
Is that week 0 or week 1?
This is from the collegefootballselect.com.
Okay.
Week zero. Week zero.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. 73 days, 86 days, I believe, till the NFL season starts. But the date that we're looking forward to the most, July 19th. Also, Jamal saying that maybe we can get a little action in over there at Mr. Maine's Pizzeria. So maybe that's going to be the spot for the inaugural, which will become an annual college football tournament, man. I think that would be really fun. We'd have to have, I think, like 4 Xboxes or so. I've only got one, guys. I don't just got a whole bunch of Xboxes hanging out or anything, but I think this could be a lot of fun. So if you've got any interest in this, let's get a group going. So if you would like to play a college football tournament when the game, and we're going to need a little practice time. We're not just going to, July 19th is here. Let's get a tournament going. We're going to need a little practice time.
So July 20th.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll have about 24 hours in.
The servers are going to be down. Everybody's going to be angry. They're not going to be able to load their game and play it. It's going to be straight chaos for a couple of days.
No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. That's why I'll be getting the early access so I can, fight through all of that and play a little bit before everyone else. But if you'd like to, if we want to make this happen, a tournament for college football, text your name over to 850-215-6290. 4 minutes away from the 7-year send-off. When we give you guys the cue to call, you be caller number 10, 850-215-6290, and that's going to win you a sweet qualifying prize if you are caller number 10, which is a Dave & Buster swag bag, a jersey, and a Swampy Jacks gift card equivalent to $10. And then you'll go into the grand prize drawing to win an all-inclusive trip to see the Braves take on the Toronto Blue Jays. That'll be Saturday, September 7th. All right, so Kyle Albritton says, speaking of group, we should have an ESPN Afternoon Underdogs Facebook group page where everyone can interact and share stuff also. I hate adminning groups, so.
Start it up.
Yeah, Kyle, I'll get you some photos or whatever, and I will make you the liaison or whatever. Well, you'll be the admin of that group, and we'll make it happen. But yeah, 3 minutes away before we get going. LSU and USC. These are some big games for week 1 of the. Or actually, no, these are all different weeks. These are just. Joel Klatt came out with 10 games that are going to define the college football season, and I just want to get your take, Tyler, on which team these games mean more for. So we'll start with LSU and USC. In your opinion, which team does this mean more for?
I think it may be USC. I mean, Lincoln Riley, disappointing year last year. You lose Caleb Williams. You got the backup quarterback who played extremely well in the bowl game coming in. But if you come out and your defense still looks awful, and it shows no growth, that's going to be bad. And this is against an LSU offense that's going to be replacing Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, 3 first-rounders. So they've got a lot of firepower that they've got to replace as well. So if you can't control an offense that is reloading as much, if not more than your own, then that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
And then you're going into the Big Ten, so being in a new conference, you're one of the new faces of this conference. You can't go out and lay an egg in Vegas on your turf, essentially. If it was in New Orleans, it would maybe feel, but they're coming to you basically. So I think if USC comes out and lays an egg on national TV as their grand entrance into the Big Ten, after the way last year went, it's not going to be a good look for USC. It's going to be an awful look for Lincoln Riley.
And that's where I'm at. That's why, to me, it means more to USC. This is a huge game for Brian Kelly, too.
Oh, huge.
We're not going to say that this game doesn't mean anything to LSU. It means a ton to LSU. I think that it means more to USC, though. What does the era look like after Caleb Williams? Is Lincoln Riley legit? Is Lincoln Riley legitimate?
It's hard he's produced 3 Heisman quarterbacks
and that's what I'm saying.
Runner-up. It's hard to say he's not legit.
Exactly.
To an extent.
Offensive minded. You go to Kyle Shanahan, which I don't want to take anything away from him, but Dan Quinn obviously didn't run a great defensive scheme in the second half of that Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan gets blamed a lot of the times when he has leads late in the games to get away from the run game and just start passing it. Could Lincoln Riley just be too focused on the offensive side of the ball? The defense was atrocious last year. If it starts out that way this year, it's do you really care about both sides of the ball? Maybe you should just be an OC. Maybe you could Cliff Kingsbury things, and head to the NFL.
Yeah, he's got to do something to at least make that defense formidable. It doesn't have to be great. It's not going to be a Kirby Smart defense.
Yeah.
But it's got to be, top 40? I mean, USC gets enough athletes. They should be able to field a competent defense. And they haven't even been that
Kyle Albritton says he is legitimately scared of the SEC. Ohio State, Oregon, which this game I believe is early in September. It's not a week 1 or week 0 game. It might be. It might even be later because I might be
like week. I think it may be more mid-season because it is a conference game this year.
Because I know a couple years ago they played it was week 2, so October 12th, so kind of mid, it was 6th or 7th week of the season at that point. Ohio State, Oregon, which, here's another team headed into the Big Ten. Ohio State, huge for them as well. What do you got, Ohio State, Oregon, as we're getting ready for the cue to call, but not just quite yet. We'll go after this answer because we can only go till 5:35.
Every game, including Ohio State, the answer is Ohio State. This is a boomer bust year for them.
Actually, we have to go out at 5:33, so let's get those phone lines going right now. 850-215-6290. Caller number 10 is what we're looking for. 850-215-6290. We'll continue on this discussion as we wait for caller number 10, and we'll get out of here at 5:33 today and get you guys to the first pitch for the Atlanta Braves and the Baltimore Orioles. Max Fried going for the Braves tonight. But this is a huge game, man. The last time that these two teams played, Oregon did get the better of Ohio State. So do you think Oregon gets the better of them 2 years in a row with Dan Lanning, or 2 games in a row rather, or is it time for Ohio State?
It's in Austin, so that's going to be a huge advantage for Oregon. That place is probably going to be rocking. But I don't know if I can pick a winner right now. I want to see how that quarterback situation looks for Ohio State. I'm not sold on Will Howard, and I'm not sold, and then they got a couple true freshmen behind them and a redshirt freshman. But basically any game featuring Ohio State this year, the pressure's on Ohio State. They have to do something with Ryan Day.
All right, Paul, you are on the line with the Afternoon Underdogs. We've talked to you a few times, but what do you think on the game tonight, Baltimore Orioles and the Braves? You think the Braves got a good opportunity with Fried on the bump tonight?
Oh, yes, always with Fried on the bump tonight.
I love it, my man. Well, we are very close to the end of our show today, so we're going to go ahead and let you go. But congratulations on winning and get your name in there for, I believe, the 3rd time here in this contest.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Well, great stuff, Paul. You have a great evening. Be safe out there, all right?
All right, you too. Thanks.
Absolutely. Your Georgia Bulldogs did not make it last night. College World Series. North Carolina State ended up getting the better of them. 4 ACC teams, 4 SEC teams. We had someone commenting, why are we not talking about college baseball? It is ACC and SEC. We just had some other things to be talking about today. And as we get a little closer to Friday, we'll talk more about that. And we talked a little bit about it yesterday. Hopefully you're enjoying college baseball. We're getting ready for some college football, but congratulations to all the teams who did make it to the College World Series. My heart is going Florida State. My mind is going with Texas A&M in this particular College World Series. Tyler, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. 850-215-6290, the number to call at 7:40 in the morning. Your Braves are coming up next.
For 7 years, ESPN Northwest Florida has been your destination on the Panhandle for the Atlanta Braves.
He just blew the doors off that thing.
But our listeners are the real MVP.
Another dominating performance.
So this year, we're giving away more tickets to Truist Park than ever before. Keep listening to win family 4-packs to experience the Atlanta Braves. From ESPN Northwest Florida, PCB Hobby, Pepsi, Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or